Want to improve your hip flexor strength and reduce risk of injury? Well, we've got 7 exercises in this video to help with just that. Whether you're a professional athlete or just starting out, there's different levels that you can progress to suit you perfectly. A lot of the time, we focus so much on stretching the hip flexors to work on tightness, but a lot of the times muscles can become tight because they are weaker. And rather than just stretching it all the time, where it will just keep tightening back up, a strengthening approach can work much better, especially if getting some stretch at the same time. And we've got an exercise for that. The hip flexor is commonly weak because it's a muscle that gets so ignored in general training. It's a really deep muscle, so it doesn't do anything for the look of a physique. No one will be complimenting you on your hip flexor gains. But for general health, keeping a muscle that has a big attachment into the lower back, nice and strong, can only be a great thing. Not saying that's always going to be linked to low back pain, as it's way more complex than that, but it may be related for some people who are suffering with their back. So working on exercises and strengthening can be a great starting place. So we have 5 exercises of different levels of difficulty you can try depending on what position you're in. And a note for all of these, if doing one side, even it out with the same amount on the other. So exercise 1 is a straight leg raise. So you set up on the floor with your leg out straight, keep it as straight as you can, and then lift the leg up slowly and controlled. Have a weight or something to move over so you can work on a consistent height. This is also great for working the quad muscles and a great starting exercise to work on the hip flexor or if dealing with a hip flexor injury. Exercise 2 is a standing hip flexion, which is weighted. This, like some of the other options, comes with an added benefit, which we'll discuss in a second. You have options for this one. You can do it with a kettlebell or with a band. With a kettlebell, standing on a raised surface, hook your foot into the handle of the kettlebell and then lift it up and control the lowering. With a band, you can do it on the floor, standing on the band and lift with the other leg. The only problem with the band is that it'd be a really strong force at the top and almost nothing at the bottom, whereas the resistance curve with a kettlebell will be more linear. You can progress these by using a heavier kettlebell or a stronger band. The benefit of this exercise is that you'll also be working the tibialis anterior muscle at the lower leg, another heavily neglected muscle in training. And that will also be hit with the next exercise, which is number 3, a laying cable hip flexion. You'll set up laying down here in front of a cable machine, use a handle and hook your foot into it, and then flex the hip, slowly returning. This is great because you can easily progress this by simply increasing the weight. If you find you get a bit of a click in the hip when you're doing this, either don't come up as high or bring the hip out wider or for some closer so that goes away. Just play about with the position until finding one where you're not getting it. Exercise 4 is a captain's chair. So this is great because not only will you be hitting the hip flexor, you'll also be getting some lower ab involvement as well. There's ways to progress this. The easiest is to just do this with a bent knee, lifting them up. The more you rotate the pelvis at the top, the more you'll hit the abs instead. And a lot of people do this wrong when they're doing it for ab training because they'll just lift the knee without tucking the pelvis at the top, so you're not engaging the abs as much. With this, it's fine because the focus is more on the hip flexors anyway. You can make this harder the more you straighten your legs out, so you can have it with a slight knee bend. And while you're there, you may as well lift and tuck the pelvis to get the ab involvement as well. And then the hardest version is from straighter legs. And you can work to lift them higher with a slow, controlled lowering. The ultimate level of progression for this type of movement is doing a strict toes to bar. So hanging down and then bringing the legs all the way up so your toes touch at the top. And again, making sure a controlled lowering. Exercise 5 is standing cable hip flexion. This is back to the cable machine, this time in standing. Hook your leg into the handle and flex the hip up, holding on to something if balance is an issue. Try and get the leg behind you when doing this, and then you'll be able to get more stretch in as you pull through range. Again, this can be made harder by increasing the weight until finding the right level for you. If you're not used to training the hip flexor, you want to be working in a range where you're getting 3 to 4 reps in reserve initially, not working to failure. But that will come over time as getting more used to the movements and building the strength in. In our opinion, the ultimate exercise to be working on is that standing hip flexion with the cable. It's a really easy setup, you get in the stretch in, and it can be easily progressed. If you want in a gym program that, as well as having the standard exercise in that will make you look good, it has all these other exercises in for muscles that consistently get missed, like the hip flexor, the lower back, or the neck. All of that programmed in, meaning that you can keep the whole body healthy and in balance. Then check out our HLA gym programs. The link is in the description. As well as these exercises, if you're wanting to work on stretching for the hip flexor, then check out this video here, where we go through how to do that properly rather than just relying on a typical couch stretch, which isn't the most optimal.